How do I what?
Replace a guy like Nick?
It's funny because we just got Nick where we wanted Nick. And the good thing is we didn't have an answer at center yet from the spring. And then we went into the August camp looking for a center. So we had 2 or 3 guys that we were snapping a lot. They got a lot of reps at center. When you're working 3 guys in with the blue and the whites or the ones and the twos, you have to share maybe more reps than you wanted to, kind of like we did at quarterback when we had 3 of them, right? So the benefit to that right now is, though, there was 3 guys that were getting reps. And so now that Nick is not going to be with us for a while, we have 2 other guys that have gotten a lot of reps and a lot of snaps and a lot of work at the position. So it's just next man up. And so Brian came in 2 weeks ago, Brian Anderson, for the 2 90-yard drives. So we did those with our backup center at the time. And he played, 3+ quarters Saturday against Miami. I think one of the more physical teams we'll see this year. So right now we're just prepping a 2 and a 3, and we move up and move on. And that's not out of disrespect to Nick. He did a phenomenal job, and he's a leader on our football team. So we'll miss him, but in the meantime, we've got to move on to the next guy.
Phil Mack talked about how Jase Smith he thought he had his best practice there. How happy have you been with how he's handled, not being the starter? He's been in a lot of the center, a lot of celebrations.
Yeah, someone asked me that last week too. I think he's handled it like a professional. He was very energetic on the sideline Saturday. He does a great job coaching receivers. As soon as we make an adjustment and they're free to go, he leaves and goes and grabs the tight ends or the receivers or the running backs, and he's talking about the adjustments. There's dialogue between he and Sam all game. He's involved and knows every play call and kind of goes through the game mentally so that if he gets called, he's ready to roll. And, sometimes you can kind of fade and sit in the back and not be involved, and that's not how he handles it. So he's prepared to be ready to go at just about any time, and that's what you expect from your backup quarterback.
Phil, you said before that the season started that you felt Hal had an it factor from what you saw in high school.
Yes.
The fact that he has performed as well as he has in the fourth quarter of these 2 games, does that speak to that it factor?
I think so. I really do. He has just a calmness about him, and I heard Mac talking about it at some point over the weekend. There's just a very natural poise that he has. He's mature for his age, and it's interesting because he's sitting in a high school classroom in December, and here he is leading us to 2 comebacks in the fourth quarter, but it really it lends to his demeanor, and also he's supremely confident right now, and I think players at any position have confidence when they know what they're doing. And I truly think that's a benefit of this offense is we keep things simpler so that there's not as much thinking that has to go on when we're out there. And we're really constantly grading our players as to whether or not they're getting to a point where they're truly playing the game instinctively or not. And I think we're getting closer and closer as each week goes by.
What are your takeaways from the Miami game on Saturday?
I would mirror what Coach Brown said. I thought we were happy with our short yardage stuff, opening game. We did not perform as well, short yardage stuff, Saturday against Miami. They were very good up front. We need to win the physical battle, do a little bit better controlling the line of scrimmage on the short yardage situation. So that's one area. I think I'll never be happy with third downs. It could be 40, 50, 60%. Third downs that's the toughest down in football, but you're constantly working to do better on third down. I think the best way to do well on third and long is to stay out of it. So the more we improve our first and second down production, the more we deal with the third and shorts and don't have to deal with the third and long. So those would be probably 2 of the primary areas. I was happy with no penalties, with the exception of the 1 delay game, and I was happy that we secured the football and didn't have any turnovers. And those are 2 keys to winning the game against Miami, and we got that done.
What went into the 4th and 17 play call? And we heard that you had to convince Coach Brown to go for it and kind of go inside the head.
Yeah, he says that. We had a conversation just about there's 2 scenarios. Is there a chance to manage the clock? There really wasn't. So the best option was to go for it. You don't feel great when you just gave up 2 sacks, But so we went with a different protection, and we went with a clear out concept. We have 2 in the offense that that we like. I just chose the one I thought was better for Miami. Toe ran a really, really good route, and we did a good job of picking up their third down pressure, and Sam threw a dime. It got us the first down, and so, those are hard. There aren't a lot of 17-yard plays in college football, so they executed, and obviously the rest was history.
Jase Newsome had a few drops last year. A couple may have been 6 had he caught the ball.
Who was that you said?
Jase Newsome.
Yeah.
But in the first game, he had that catch, the ball that maybe should have been picked that Sam threw, and obviously there was concentration there, and then he had the big catch the other night. How have you seen him change since you arrived to become a guy who maybe has a higher level of focus to make those plays?
I'm smiling. There's two things. I mean, one, his concentration is the issue. It's not, when someone doesn't catch the ball well, it's focus and concentration on the football. So that's improved. I mean, he's getting older. He's maturing. He's stronger. He's smarter. He wants to look at what are his weaknesses, and he's trying to improve on them. And so he doesn't want to make those drops this year, and he hasn't so far. But the reason I was smiling is the other thing is he didn't have contacts last year. I mean, here's a receiver that needed contacts and didn't play with them. And Coach Galloway asked him, and I asked him in the spring, do you have any? Do you wear them? Have you ever got your eyes checked? Lonnie sent him to the eye doctor on a Monday. He came back with contacts, and so, sometimes you catch the ball a little bit better when you can see it.
Would you say Sam Howell is sort of a dream match for your offense?
I think any time that you have a player that wants to put in the time to know the system the way he does, and obviously can throw the ball the way he does, and we don't have to have a runner at quarterback, but it helps when he has some mobility, because it makes the second-level defenders have to defend him both throwing the football and, do you drop back and take away a route, or do you sit home because he can go run for 8? Sam can do that. So, yeah, I think a guy like Sam, a guy like Jase, those two guys fit this offense, perfectly.
How do you keep a guy like Jase involved when he's watching so much success and in the news with Sam? How do you keep him just like he's once one?
Well, a lot of that falls on Jase and the way he approaches it, which is we're very fortunate to have him. And the reason I say that is if the time comes where we actually need him to win a game, he can go do that because he prepares all the time. He has the right attitude. He's more about the team than he is himself. He's everything that you would want a quarterback to be. And I don't have any reservations about playing him. I don't know that we're in a bad spot if he's our starting quarterback. We had to pick one. Sam's doing a good job, and I think when Jase gets his opportunity, he'll make the most of it.
Phil, what stands out to you about what Wake wants to do defensively?
Wake's a little bit different than the two teams we saw. They play a lot of zone coverage. They're extremely disciplined. They're very, very well coached. I work with a coach on that staff there, so I know what he's all about, and they are going to be in position. You're not going to get them out of position with too much stuff. So I think mistakes this week probably hurt us even more so than in the last 2 weeks because they'll fit their gaps. They're going to be where they need to be in coverage. They're going to squeeze holes. They're going to squeeze grass. It's not going to be there for very long. And they're going to give us a bunch of different pictures. So they're a little bit more multiple in coverage than the two teams that we've seen previously.
What does it mean for Sam to be able to get these 2 wins under his belt and them both coming in comeback fashion, fourth quarter comeback fashion? What does it mean for his confidence as far as knowing how to win when it comes to the future of the schedule?
Well, it's interesting you asked that. I think the development of the offense in this system is always going to be. It's just like our tempo in the game. We're only going to go as fast as Sam feels like going. If he needs to slow something down to think about or ID something, then we're going to slow down. Because if he doesn't know what's going on, then we don't have a shot. As he continues to get better, we'll actually play faster. And that's happened the last 2 weeks. That whole process occurred, and we went through that whole thing in August camp. And so now we've got 2 guys that can run it pretty fast, and they make really good decisions. And one of the things for Sam from game 1 to game 2 was to minimize his missed assignments, and he did. So he went from 7 to 2. And that's kind of where we would like to have our quarterback. So I think the sky's the limit for him because he has the athletic ability to do whatever he needs to do. He can make all the throws. He can run the ball when he has to. It's going to be his focus from down to down, making the right decisions for the offense. And then on the other end, we're trying to keep it simple so that it's not going a little conservative in the first half was for Sam's benefit, and I think we needed to do that. You know, and I'm really not as concerned with everybody else's opinion as I am with the development of our quarterback. And so that was what we needed to do to kind of bring him along to this point. And I don't know that he can't handle everything that we're doing in the system now.
So would that not be an option, you know, in the Wake Forest game as far as being conservative? Do you feel like you're at the
No, we weren't conservative last week.
Okay.
I mean, play calling was a wide open book for us this past game. It was nice to be able to address it and approach it that way, and it'll be that way the rest of the season now. It's just that first half against South Carolina, you're going to be smart and put them in good position, and once you realize you didn't need to anymore, you open it up and you let them go run the system.
What can you tell us about Javante Williams in terms of his personality and his approach to the game? He was a guy who was under-recruited at high school and seems like he's your best running back right now.
Javante is a great blend of speed and strength. He's as nice a kid as you'll meet. And I don't know if he'd want me saying this, but I think he's a lot more confident in his own ability this year than he was last year. And you know, and that's feedback that he provided us. And I think he's playing with a lot of confidence right now. And I think at some point in the South Carolina game, he realized he belongs out there. He's just as fast or as strong as everybody else out there. And you know, and he's obviously one of our primary weapons offensively.
How do you find the time for one more? How do you find the balance between the three running backs that you have? Antonio was kind of the odd guy out last game.
You know, they aren't being played situationally. So we have our pecking order, 1 to 3. The distance is so minimal because all three are talented, and really from week to week, Coach Gillespie is going to manage those three to keep them all fresh. They're all weapons, so we want to use them all. We want to try to keep them all fresh. And you know, the rule in that room right now is if they're hot, they're staying in. The only reason they come out is if they're tired or if they need a little bit of a rest, and we'll rotate through with the next guy. But if we play all three early on and one of them is playing well and running well and seems to be a matchup for the defense, then we'll ride with him a little bit longer.